Sandy Cheeks is more than just a squirrel. She's a scientist, a martial arts expert, and SpongeBob's wife? Well, maybe not. But she is more than just a side character. This is the obscure lore of Sandy Cheeks. Sandy first appeared in Season 1's tea at the Tree Dome, a squirrel in a spacesuit, living in a glass bubble in the middle of the ocean. No backstory, no explanation. From her very first appearance, it's clear she's different.
So, what's your name?
Sandy, take a gander at this.
Not just because she can't breathe underwater, but because she's introduced as an extreme sports nut who lives for danger. And within minutes, she's wrestling a giant clam like it's nothing. But what really stands out is her home, the Tree Dome, a fully self-contained land environment, complete with oxygen, gravity, and her favorite oak tree.
Sandy, something's gone terribly wrong. There's no water in...
Of course there's no water. Nothing but air.
Most characters in Bikini Bottom live in a pineapple, a tiki head, or some random junk from the surface. But Sandy? She lives in a full-blown science facility. So how did she end up here? Where did she come from? In the episode Texas, we finally see a side of her we hadn't before. She's not building inventions. She's not fighting sea monsters. She's just homesick. After a long day at the beach, Sandy sits quietly, sculpting the shape of Texas in the sand.
It's Texas.
But when the tide washes it away, something breaks.
Oh, it's nothing but a memory now.
She sings a song about missing home. The hills, the wide open skies, the smell of barbecue. It's heartfelt and heartbreaking.
Remember, there's no place like home.
It's the first time we realize something important. Sandy didn't just choose to be in Bikini Bottom. She also gave up something to be here. Her friends, her family, her whole life in the open air.
So what do you think?
And even though she's made a life under the sea, part of her still belongs on land. That's why once a year, Sandy Cheeks vanishes. No karate, no experiments, just silence. In Survival of the Idiots, we learn that Sandy hibernates during the winter. She seals up her tree dome, curls up in her bed, and doesn't wake up for months.
During hibernation, animals don't like to be woken up, so do not disturb.
While the rest of Bikini Bottom continues without change, Sandy is locked away from the world. Because no matter how high-tech her home is, she's still just a normal squirrel from above the sea. And since no other Bikini Bottom citizens hibernate, SpongeBob and Patrick have no idea what would happen if they woke her up. But they're about to find out. Sandy wakes up as an absolute menace, half asleep, fully dangerous, before uttering one of the most iconic lines in the entire show.
Which one of you fellers is the real Dirty Dan?
It's one of the only times we see Sandy's full unhinged strength, before she drifts back to sleep like nothing ever happened. Now, you may be wondering, why does Sandy stay in the Bikini Bottom if she misses home so much? In Saving Bikini Bottom, the Sandy Cheeks movie, we finally get her full backstory.
Texas sure is magical.
She works for BOOTS, the Bureau of Oceanic Observations and Technological Studies. Her mission? To spy on the residents of Bikini Bottom and eventually help sell them as toys. BOOTS partners with Gushing Waters Water Park to create Sea Pals, a mass-produced line of plushies based on SpongeBob and the gang. Her boss? A corporate overlord named Tsunami. It's dark, it's weird, and it finally explains why a squirrel from Texas ended up under the sea. Or does it? In all 15 seasons, over 300 episodes, one line changes everything.
Patrick, they're here!
Who?
Sandy's bosses.
In Season 4, Episode 14, 3 chimps show up at the Tree Dome to evaluate Sandy's progress. They're not from BOOTS. They don't mention Sea Pals. They say,
Allow me to introduce ourselves. We are the Board of Directors of Tree Dome Enterprises Limited.
wait, what?
Tree Dome Enterprises Limited.
A completely different organization. Never mentioned before, never mentioned again. And somehow they claim to have invested in Sandy's research. Not Boots, not Tsunami, not the water park. Both claim Sandy works for them. According to the SpongeBob fandom Wikipedia page, Tree Dome Enterprises Limited was founded in the 19th century by a chimpanzee named Lucy III. Originally, they specialized in underwater habitats for scientific research. But when undersea real estate became a booming industry, they pivoted. And if the name Tree Dome Enterprises sounds familiar, it should. Sandy's home is literally called the Tree Dome. Her first episode? Tea at the Tree Dome. The company's name is everywhere. But here's where things get weird. The Boots headquarters seen in the SpongeBob movie looks identical to Sandy's home. Same dome structure, same layout, same design. So what does that mean? Did the same company that built Sandy's Tree Dome also build Boots? Are the chimps at Tree Dome Enterprises behind both? Is she connected to them? Is she working for them? Or is she working against them? All we know is this. Sandy Cheeks left her entire life behind to build a high-tech lab at the bottom of the ocean. She never went back. And whatever her mission is, it's not over.